Hey, good morning, boys and girls. Well, it's another beautiful day. I think about the song that Mr. Rogers sings about it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Anyway, just thought of that today. One of those random things that you get, little thoughts that come into your head. Anyway, it's time for us to get started. We've got a lot to do today, just like we did yesterday. We'll have Bible time and we'll learn some more consonant blends and talk about Tess and Bess, read a few more pages in our book, and then finish off with learning more about Holland, or the other word for the country, the Netherlands. So let's go ahead and start. I'm going to stand for our pledges. All right, and like I said, you may not see me, but maybe you can hear me. All right, ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And today is Thursday, April the 16th. So we've talked last week about the TH sound, didn't we? The Thursday. All right, well, our poem today is called Wise. And you think about this. Whoever planned the world was wise to think of land and seas and skies, to plan the sun and moon that could be made to run the way they should. But how did he have time for all the things we see that are so tiny and small, like flowers in parks and flakes of snow and the little sparks that fireflies show? Let me show you. Who was wise enough to do all that? That's right, God did. Even the little tiny sparks that fireflies show in the summertime. Do you ever catch we call them lightning bugs. Some people call them fireflies. Have you ever caught some of those? I haven't seen them yet. They usually come in about June when summer's just about to start. And I always look for the lightning bugs. When I see a lightning bug, then I know that summer is here. So God can think. He thought of all those things. Big things and then the little tiny things too. All right. Well, we've been learning all this week the Lord's Prayer. We started off, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. That's how we start off. Then yesterday we added the next part to it. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. So I'm going to show you some pictures to go along with the next part. Remember, we're taking it just bit by bit so that we can put it all together at the end. So what we're going to work on today, look at this little girl. Oh, she's feeding the little birds. Give us this day our daily bread. We're asking God to just help us with the things that we need for each day. He provides for us. He takes care of us so that we don't have to worry. Every day he takes care of us. We don't have to worry about tomorrow. We just have to know that he's going to take care of us today. All right. Give us this day our daily bread. All right. And forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. A debt, that's when we owe somebody something. Forgive us our debts. And the debts that we have are the things that we do wrong. The things when we disobey, when we don't listen, when we're unkind, those things. But you know what? Forgive us our debts. God, Jesus, he forgives us. If we ask him, he forgives us of doing those things. That's why Jesus went to the cross. Forgive us our debts, but then we have to what? Forgive our debtors. If somebody does something wrong or says something unkind to us, it's hard to do, but we need to forgive them too. I look at this picture, this little girl standing here. Maybe she said something unkind, or maybe she disobeyed her, and she's coming to ask for forgiveness. Yeah. So let's put those three things together. Ready? Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. So, can we put it all together so far? All right. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. And then this is what we learned today. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. All right, just a couple more things and we'll have the whole thing learned tomorrow. Good job. Keep practicing at home. All right, well, we've talked about a lot of different letters. In fact, I got our chart, and I don't know if you can see, but I've put check marks. Let me move my camera just a little bit. If you see a check mark, that means that's something that we've learned already. We learned that CK makes the K sound. We've learned that Y sometimes makes the I sound. Remember A-E-I-O-U and sometimes Y. We learned A-Y says A, like in pray and tray. We learned yesterday PL words, pl. And then before we had to stay at home, we learned FR, frog, and free, and frozen, right? Then before break, we learned about SH, sh, and we've learned TH, all right? And then today is this one, and I'll get to put a check mark beside it. ST. I'm gonna move these flowers, and we're gonna talk about them, but I want us to be able to see our words and go over today's sounds. So ST, st. That's what ST makes. So you see this sign when you're riding with mom and dad in the car, don't you? It's red and it has big white letters on it. It has one vowel, so it's going to say it's short sound. Ah, sta, ah, p. Stop. Right, stop sign. If you're riding with mom and dad in the car and they see the light change to red, what do we have to do? Put on the brakes and they stop. Right, stop. All right, one vowel in this word, but it's not an O, it's an E. Same letters, except we've changed the vowel. So that changes the word. So instead of ah for O, E says what? Eh, like the elephant. So we have st, p, step. Some of you have to go up steps to go upstairs in your bedroom. Or at my house, you have to go up steps to get on the porch to go through the door. A step. I'm sure that when you were little, what did you do? You would take one step at a time when babies are learning to walk. They don't still start running, do they? They learn to stand, and then they take one step at a time. Step. Good. All right. We're going to change our ending. We're going to keep this, st, and then we're going to add W. Stew. Do you like stew? We have stew a lot in the wintertime. It's kind of like a thick soup. Oh, it's good, especially when it's cold outside. So this is stew. All right, now sometimes if you're eating stew, you have to be careful. You don't want to get one of these. Now look, we have A-I. That's, remember our two vowel rule when they're walking together. The second vowel is quiet, and he says, hey friend, you could say your long sound. So A is first, so this is going to make the long A sound. Stain. Do you have a shirt that might have a stain on it? Maybe you got some ketchup or mustard on it when you were eating a hot dog, or that's why we're careful when we would do painting at school. We'd always put on a paint shirt. We didn't want to stain. That's something that Mom can't get out when she washes it. She can scrub it, but sometimes there are things, foods and paints and things like that, that can stain our clothes and it can't come out. So that's the word stain. 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 All right? Let's look at the next word. Stand. Stand. Right. When we're talking about babies, what do? First, they learn to stand. You had to learn to stand first before you could take your step. Stand. All right? Here is, I see at the end what? Bossy E or silent E. Shh. So this letter O, it's not going to say ah like it didn't stop. It's going to say O. O. So we have ST, st, that's our sound, stove, stove, stove. That's where Mom, Dad, they cook. Do you maybe help Mom and Dad cook? Maybe mix some things up, but you don't want to get too close to the stove. We don't want anybody to get hurt. We don't want anybody to get burned. All right? Stove, stove. All right? This one, and then our vowel a, stamp, a stamp. Where do you put a stamp? That's right, you put it on a letter, you have to put it on the envelope. And then the mailman or the mail lady takes your letter, and then because it has a stamp on it, it goes to whoever you're sending it to. It might be to a friend, to a relative that lives far away, a stamp. All right. And then the last one, there's that silent E again, and long O sound again. O, stone, stone. All right. Should we ever throw stones? No. That can be very dangerous if they hurt someone. Stone. All right. But I see a lot of stones as I walk around the neighborhood. All right. So let's say our words one more time. And then you can practice at home. Think of words that start with that st sound. ST. Stop. Step. Stew. Stain. Stand. Stove. Stamp. And stone. All right, there's lots and lots of ST words. As I look outside the window of my garage, I can see people, they're out walking and they're going up and down the street. The street. That's a word I didn't even put up. So think of some other ST words today and see if you can share those with your family, or play a game with them. See if you can get them to think of the word that you're thinking of. Something fun like that. Well, yesterday we talked about the sisters, didn't we? Tess and Bess. And I sure did enjoy yesterday's part of the story while they were fixing what? My favorite. Did you know after we finished with our lesson yesterday, I went inside and I put on the pot or the kettle and I made myself a cup of tea. The girls, Tess and Bess, got me thinking about that. So I had a cup of tea yesterday after our lesson. So let's go on. Here they are. They've had their cup, and Bess is sipping it very carefully. All right, because it's so hot. Well, let's see what else the girls get into. Here is Bess. All right. Bess, do you have your book with you? If you do, you can follow along with me. I'm on page 7. Page 7. We're only going to do a few pages today. Ready? Bess will, now it has a little W, so even though